The Sablinskaya cave is a set of underground tunnels that are located just 40 kilometers from Saint Petersburg, the second largest city in Russia. A black legend weighs on it with hundreds of victims and disappearances, attributed to the existence of an evil force within it. Interest in this cave arose in the 18th century, when it was discovered that it contained a large amount of silica sand, which is used to make glass. Its extraction turned it into an underground labyrinth that exceeds 7 kilometers, with flooded lakes and dozens of large rooms connected by corridors several meters high. Many miners lost their lives there due to poor working conditions. Legends of extraterrestrial beings began to emerge, which made the workers disappear. They also described the presence of a lady dressed in white, with her face wrapped in a shroud and a candle in her hands, constantly crying for the deceased miners. Others claimed to meet an old man with a gray beard, who warned them not to enter certain galleries that later ended up collapsing. Finally, in 1924, the extraction works were abandoned. But the mines and caves remained there, serving as a refuge for criminals, fugitives, or homeless people, until the outbreak of World War II in the 1940s. Nazi troops began the invasion of Russian lands, and Hitler's first major objective was to completely destroy the city of Leningrad, now Saint Petersburg, to make it serve as a moral blow to the rest of the country. German troops arrived at its gates in September 1941, but the Russian army and population of nearly 3 million bravely withstood the attack. This infuriated the Führer, who hatched a heartless plan to bring down the city, surround it, cut off all supplies, and wait for the population to starve. To this was added the arrival of winter, and the inhabitants had to endure temperatures of -30 degrees without electricity or heating. The corpses began to accumulate in the streets, with a mortality that reached 25,000 people a day. People ate grass, glue, boiled wallpaper, or leather belts. They ate the paper from the books, and what little bread there was adulterated with sawdust. It was a matter of time before cannibalism took over the city. Survivors reported seeing corpses whose buttocks or part of their legs had been ripped off, and others who had their viscera removed. The living were even attacked, and entire neighborhoods were controlled by violent groups of cannibals. When the city was finally liberated after a 2.5-year siege, some 1,400 people were accused of cannibalism, and more than 300 were executed. Some of them managed to escape. For them, caves like Sablinskaya were the perfect place to hide. In the 1970s, when the authorities wanted to rehabilitate the place, they found a chilling discovery. Nearly 200 people lived hidden there, organized in clans with names like the Sadists, the Sticks, or the Kamikazes. The authorities evacuated them from there, but it's believed that some escaped again and took refuge in the depths. Currently, official figures say that every year about 20 people disappear inside the Sablinskaya cave and its surroundings. Some experts point out that the cause could be the danger of the flooded areas, some with quicksand, but the truth is that no remains of the disappeared have been found inside. The police go further and believe that those responsible would be former inhabitants of the caves that still remain there. But the Sablinskaya galleries are so extensive and intricate that catching someone is almost impossible. For their part, the members of the clans that once lived there say that many of their companions also disappeared without a trace. They attributed it to creatures that lived underground. Finally, the authorities have had no choice but to cordon off the area and define which parts of the cave can be visited, always under strict safety regulations, and with the premise of never leaving the group or exploring unauthorized areas. In one of them is the gallery baptized as Cannibal Room by its former inhabitants. It is decorated with an abundance of skulls, and an ominously decorated doll hangs from its ceiling. A few meters away, the decapitated head of a female mannequin also hangs upside down. And at the exit of the room, a tomb, the only one in the entire cave, where the remains of one of the people who died inside under strange circumstances rest. Nobody knows who buried her. They only left an iron cross in the grave. Today it is unknown if they are ghosts, creatures from the underworld, or a clan of cannibals. The only thing certain is that something evil and unknown awaits in the depths of the Sablinskaya cave for anyone who dares to approach.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you on the next episode.